Greetings, YouTube land. It's your buddy Choppadong coming at you on Tuesday, July 2nd from DFSArmy.com, where I'm lead editor of content, senior contributor and coach, lover of all sports and sarcasm. Just read my bio to you. Pretty easy to follow. Head down to the comments section. Use the promo code CHOP. It earns 20% off each month. That you're a member at DFSArmy.com, where we are one-stop shopping for everything daily fantasy sports. We're going to talk baseball today. We're going to dive in, and we're going to talk a little bit about building a player pool. I asked a lot of our VIPs last night for ideas. What is it that you want to learn? Not what is it that I want to tell you. It's what is it that you want to learn, because I want to make sure that I'm helping you in any way that I possibly can become a better DFS player. Now, of course, I'm focused on MLB this time of year. We're going to start kicking over to football in a couple of months. So you're going to want to get involved on that end of things too. Obviously, you'll open up a whole brand new window of coaches to you that are very good at NFL. You'll still always have me in there talking bankroll management, contest selection, things like that. But really, the question that I picked, I've got 6 or 7 topics that were great from our VIPs, and building a player pool is a topic that seems to be something that everybody talks about. How do I reduce the players? I can't use everybody. Where do I draw my lines in the sand? Where do I take my stand? And that's something that I think everybody struggles with. And until you get a method or a process in place by which you can do that every single day, then and have confidence in it, then I think people struggle and people doubt themselves. And you're probably a lot closer to the right track than you really think you are. So what we're going to do today is I'm going to blow through the process, how I go through it, but I'm going to come back later and I'm going to give our VIPs a private video of my exact process, as long as it takes to get it done. Now, I've consolidated and put some slides up and whatnot to speed things up a little bit. Hopefully we don't get into a 30-minute video or something, but it might be a good 20 minutes because I want to be very thorough with my VIPs, and I want to show them from front to back what it is that I do, so they can either put that into their system or take something out of it or add something to it or whatever as they get better and they get more confident in what it is that they like to do and what they like to look at. We've already had great discussion regarding some of the pitchers today, and did you think about this and did you think about that? And sometimes I don't, because I'm looking at very basic numbers, and it's a process that has worked for me over the past few years. But the point is, I always take on more information as the day goes on, and I keep evaluating my thoughts deeper and deeper into the day. So what I put out to you today, it's not necessarily where I'm going to land. It's going to be very close, but it's not exactly where I land, because my base process is typically where I stick unless things change or things come to light, which is why the group atmosphere at DFSArmy.com is so great, because we bring these things up to each other throughout the day. You may find this other guy might find that, and we combine those together and decide whether or not that play is actually strengthened or weakened by that research that we're putting in as a group. So consider the 20% discount with code CHOP and consider jumping in. Let's dive in today and just show you where I'm going to go and how I'm going to construct this process. We have a huge slate of information to process today. There's a couple of ways to do it. I can dive into the pitching trends tab here, and the first thing, that if you've seen me use things like K-score, I would take this and I would take the DFSA grade. That's one thing I will look at when it comes to going against pitchers, but I will sort by descending in K-score. I will come by and I'll take out guys like Gallen and Carsidi or whatever, and I will take just the bigger names most of the time. And I can do that by sliding back over here to total batters faced, and I can cut out these 40s and 50s by only 100 or more. I use this filter here, number filters greater than 100, 150, 200, whatever, to where you're mostly getting guys with experience, and those are the guys that we're going to be considering anyway. And I'm going to start organizing a graphic that looks a little bit like this, where I have my pitchers favored, and I put them in green for the guys in terms of how much I like them. The brighter the green, the more I like the guy. Sometimes more notes than others. I'll go into more notes for the VIPs a little bit later, but I'm looking at things like their salary, Vegas odds, K-score, W-score. Those are all in the research station, bullpen rating, matchup, and I'm trying to evaluate where am I going to start. I want the most strikeouts possible. That K-score number is strikeouts for the pitcher as well as strikeouts of the team that he's facing. Combine those two and you get sometimes a high strikeout pitcher facing a high strikeout team. And when that happens, you get a double green light. However, sometimes you end up with a pitcher with a great strikeout rating that faces a team like the Angels that don't strike out very much, and it squashes his potential a little bit, which gives rise to somebody a little further down the list who has maybe not quite as great a strikeout potential, but faces a team that strikes out more often, and that boosts his overall matchup or his overall ceiling and potential on the day and actually makes him a better pitcher for you to contemplate. And then when you're looking at things like salary, you want to get the cheapest guy you can find that is actually going to do the damage. You want to supply some Vegas odds with it. You want to supply some bullpen support to make sure that he can hold a lead if he gets the lead. These are the kinds of things that you need to be taking into account when you're putting that list together. I come down here at the very, very bottom and I flip this DFSA grade on its head. And what I'm going to do is sort by descending so that I bring the good guys to the top and the bad guys to the bottom. And I come down here and I'm looking in this dumpster fire for pitchers. And I'm going to look at names, like Clark, Gallen, Anderson, Mengden, Thornton, whatever. If you are under, I don't like the guys that have no score, but if you have a score under about 30, I'm going to look at you. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting in some of these boxes. What's your Sierra? What's your whip? What's your home run per 9? Your walk per 9? Ex-Woba against you, right-handed, left-handed, both sides of the plate. Do you struggle? Where do you struggle? Who should I be targeting? And of course matchups so that I know which bats to look at. And I target in the red and the pink which guys I'm really, really after. And when I go through this research station and I look at these numbers here, I come up with guys with higher Sierras. Over 5 is great. So Beatty and Clark, you're on my list. Whips, 1.5, 1.9. Beatty and Clark, you're on my list. The other guys a little bit, but not like these others. And I'm just checking boxes. If you show up in all 4 boxes with bad numbers, home run per 9, walk per 9, then you're just not a very good pitcher right now. And I know some of that's environmental, some of that's matchup based on small sample sizes of maybe 4 or 5 outings. The fact of the matter is they weren't good. There's no reason to think that you're going to suddenly be an ace tonight. So I'm looking at guys like the Dodgers in terms of a stack tonight. I look at Beatty, who's got high numbers in several of these categories. Walk per 9 of 7.15 is ridiculous, and he struggles against lefties. So Padres lefties, you're up. This is just a very logical way to dig through a slate. Hat tips to Anderson, Thornton, Ronaldo Lopez, whatever. These are guys that we're going to be looking for. And now I'm going to dig in to the research station, the bats side of things. And go through the trends side of things and look at numbers like trending WOBA last 14 days. I'm going to head over to the batting matchups page and I'm going to look at numbers like ISO over here on the very, very corner, which you guys have seen me do videos on starting pitcher ISO and the ISO for the batters and trying to find guys like that. And I'm looking for the guys that I want to stack off of this page here and I want to find who's hot inside that. And then I want to use the research station to back up those numbers so that I have actual logic to the madness. Essentially, that's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm going to dive in and go into a little bit more detail on a little bit later for our VIPs, and I will divulge my player pool once I get it written down, and we're going to see how it does. I've got guys on there that are checking a lot of different boxes, so hopefully they're in position to have a really, really good night. If that interests you, you like and subscribe to the video, you come inside to DFSArmy.com, you learn how to build your own player pool, you learn how to enter the right contests and manage your bankroll, and you turn a slightly losing player into a break-even or a winning player or possibly an aspiring professional. We can help you at every single level, every single player type that you are, but you've got to take the chance on your own game. You've got to want to invest. You don't go to college for free. You pay money to go to college. That's why we are a subscription site. We pay our coaches to coach you and make you a better player. So you're going to have to invest in your own game if you want to take this hobby to the next level. And get in here today using the code CHOP, C-H-O-P, at least it's a 20% discount, and drop down into that description and click the link DFSArmy.com. Get yourself in here today and start making better lineups. I'm Chop It On. I'll be back at you tomorrow with a different topic, and we'll talk to you then.